Okay, so let's start this interesting topic about understanding annual dollar turn using a real life scenario of a bank branch in Ontario. Why replace the old boiler? See, old boilers are a waste of lot of energy. New boilers, which are condensing, use energy more efficiently, which means it's using less energy. Now, the details about what is a condensing boiler and what is a non-condensing boiler is a separate topic of discussion, but here our main point is energy analysis using Excel. So imagine an old car versus a new hybrid car. The old car guzzles gas while the hybrid uses it more efficiently and goes further on less fuel. So that's how a condensing boiler saves more energy compared to a non-condensing boiler. This is an analogy which will help you understand the concept. How condensing boilers save energy? Condensing boilers capture and use heat from steam that old boilers waste. Think it like recycling heat instead of throwing it away. What is annual dollar per ton? Annual dollar per ton is the cost to save 1 ton of carbon dioxide emissions per year. So if you want to save 1 ton of carbon dioxide, how much do you need to spend annually? That is the annual dollar per ton. So it's a balance between cost and carbon dioxide savings. It helps us understand the economic efficiency of an investment in terms of environmental impact. What are the costs involved? Cost of old boiler, let's say is $10,000. Cost of new boiler is which is the condensing boiler, it's more efficient. So that's $15,000. The incremental cost is $15,000 minus $10,000, which is $5,000. Calculating annual dollar per ton. The formula is the incremental cost, which is $5,000 for replacement, and the annual greenhouse gas savings is the amount of savings which you are getting by replacing the old boiler with the new one, which is in this case 3.651 tons carbon dioxide. So the result after calculation is 1,369.34 per ton carbon dioxide emissions. Means if you want to save 1 ton of carbon dioxide, then you need to spend this much amount of money. Why does dollar per ton matter? Helps us determine if the investment is worth the environmental benefits. Lower dollar per ton means better economic efficiency. Calculating dollar per ton using Excel. Okay, so let's see this example in action using Excel. So the current situation is that we have a boiler, non-condensing boiler. We want to replace it with a condensing boiler, and we will save some energy. So once we calculate the amount of energy savings, we'll convert it to the savings of greenhouse gas emissions, because if we consume less energy, then we are going to help the planet Earth by reducing the carbon dioxide emissions. So I will calculate an equivalent amount of greenhouse gas savings for the corresponding energy savings. And then we will divide it by 1,000 to convert the kg into tons. Finally, we'll calculate the incremental cost per ton. So let's start one by one. First, let's focus on the current situation. For the current boiler, this is the efficiency. And the energy output is this much. Means this is the amount of energy your boiler is outputting. You are using it for space heating. So how you can get it? You can get it from your energy bills, like what amount of gas consumption or what amount of electricity consumption is required for space heating. In this case, you can think of it as fuel. So once you know that, you can calculate the energy input by the boiler, because there is going to be some efficiency loss. Boilers are never 100% efficient because it's a fuel boiler. So to produce this amount of energy, you need a higher amount of energy. Why? Because there's some efficiency loss. So how to calculate the energy input? Equal to the energy output divided by the efficiency of the old boiler, 80%. See, this is 125,000, which is more than 100,000. So to generate this amount of energy, you need a higher amount of energy. For the condensing boiler, obviously this amount is going to be lower, although not 100% efficient, but still, I mean, is going to be lower than the old boiler. Because why? Because it uses the energy more efficiently. So in this case, for condensing boiler, it's equal to 100,000. Again, the energy output remains the same because the heating demand remains the same. We are assuming the heating demand remains the same for ease of calculation. So take the energy output and divide by the inner boiler efficiency of the condensing boiler. This times 95%. See, this amount 105,000 is less than 125,000. Means you are now requiring less amount of energy to produce the same output energy. So it's more energy efficient. So that is the energy input. Now let's calculate the amount of reduction of energy. It's equal to the old energy input minus the new energy input will give you the amount of energy savings. What is the equivalent greenhouse gas reduction? It's equal to this one by the rate of carbon dioxide emission per kilowatt hour, which is 0.185. So this is the equivalent amount of carbon dioxide emission reduction. Now let's convert from kg of carbon dioxide to tons of carbon dioxide. How to convert it? Simply divide the kg by 1,000 and you are going to get the amount of tons. 3.65 tons. Now the regular boiler cost was $10,000 and the condensing boiler cost is $15,000. Let's say if you are replacing the old non-condensing boiler with another non-condensing boiler, it will require you 10,000. But if you replace the non-condensing boiler with a condensing boiler, it will require you to pay 15,000. So what is the incremental cost? Is 5,000. For this incremental cost, you are saving watt tons, or for 1 ton of carbon dioxide emission reduction, what is the amount of cost you are paying? The way to calculate it is equal to this incremental cost, $5,000, divided by 3.65 tons is your original carbon dioxide reduction because of new boiler. So to reduce 3.65 tons, you are paying $5,000 more. But to reduce greenhouse gas emission by 1 ton, because it's per unit ton, to reduce it by 1 ton, you need a lower amount, which is $1,369.37. This is a KPI or a key performance indicator, means it helps you to plan for future. You have an idea now that if you want to reduce carbon dioxide emission by 1 ton, you need to pay extra $1,369. Is it an attractive investment? That you need to determine. Normally, if it's less than $5,000 per ton, it's an attractive investment. So in this case, it is.